after the closest title fight in the short history of Tier 3, which resulted in Notraz losing the championship on countback to Wilson. We reset it all, and we go again. This is Tier 3, Season 6 of RPL. New faces, different tracks, but the same challenge awaits these drivers as they get set to go for the first round of Season 6 of Tier 3. I am your commentator for today, Beatnik714. Great to have you with us, and this should be a very exciting season, to say the least. If we look at the calendar, of course you can see we are racing in Melbourne today for the Australian Grand Prix. It is round 1 of the new season. And, of course, if you watched the overview of Tier 3 through Season 6, you know the lineups, you know the drivers. It is now go time for round 1. Of course, after this week, they'll go to Japan, and then the driver vote of the third round. Should be a very exciting one. I'm really hoping these guys pick Monaco, because Monaco's chaos, and we all love a little bit of chaos in our life. But we'll go over the lineups while we wait for these lads to ready up. McLaren today features Jake Bandy, who returns to RPL here on F125. We'll see if he can continue his form from the end of his 24-game cycle, getting a couple wins here and there. RPL Ardell in the field as well. We'll see how he performs in that absolutely overpowered rocket ship. Ferrari has Bezestio and Resilience, who is finally using his regular name for once. So, should be a very good lineup there. Ferrari. Red Bull has Rhythms and Scorch. Both of those drivers did fantastic last season. So I am very excited to see how these two do in the best car. Mercedes. Today we have Ryan Ocon driving the Mercedes. He is normally in the Alpine. He's got the call up to Mercedes today. And Bartu joins him as well. We'll see how they do. Jensen Snowy all by himself in the Aston Martin. No help for him. Tiro all by his lonesome in the Alpine, but his driver, his teammate RPL Egg, who has gone from the top of Tier 1 to a Tier 3 Alpine. He's on loan to the Alpine today. What a fall from grace the Tier 1 winner has had. Poor Egg. Neski and Timbed, that duo, have both made their way to the Ferrari Academy to drive for Haas today. So, those two lover boys will duke it out in the American team. Gobert joins the Aston Martin. Jensen does have a teammate after all. Neymar MiG-11 and Zero AK will be both driving the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. We'll see how they can do in that. I'm pretty sure that car sucks. X3BD, I believe it's his RPL debut, alongside. He hasn't been back since, oh boy, the days of F2, the old days of F2, F3, a few Tier 1 races. It's RPL Savage, finally back in RPL. Welcome back, Savage. Sauber features Maddie 1929 and Ridian in that poor, very sad car that just sucks. But here we go. It is go time, and Timbed has told me Jake got one win the penultimate season of last game. Congratulations, Jake Bandy, on that win in, I think that was Season 3? I thought he won a race in Season 4. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not an RPL stats guy, so we'll wait for these guys to select their tires, and then it'll be go time for Tier 3 Season 6. We'll see if it stays dry for these guys. Will we see a dry qualifying or not? It is dry. Happy days. $19 drivers in. Of course, only waiting on Egg, I believe, in the Alpine. We'll see who the first to go out is. There's Ardell getting ready to head out onto the track. We'll see if anybody beats him out. And first car leaves the pits. Tier 3 Season 6 is officially underway. I believe a Haas also beat him out of the pits at Ardell. And am I glitched here? Okay, no, I'm not. That was... Alright, Eggs joined. The legend is here. And we have a full grid for the first round of this season. Timbed and Ardell are the first two drivers onto the track. Timbed now in the Ferrari Driver Academy, racing for Haas. New colors for him. We'll see if this is the reset he needs to get himself back into regular point scoring contention as Ardell drives right past him. I don't think Ardell's won a Tier 3 race, so... Oop, into the wall goes Ardell. I don't think he's won in Tier 3, so if he could pull off a win for McLaren today, it'd be a first-time winner. As Ardell will be the first driver to set a lap time in the new season. Ooh, we went a little bit deep there through, I think that's turn 13 or turn 12. As off goes Ardell to begin his first flying lap. Fifth gear through turn 1. That looked very clean and tidy for the McLaren driver. Oh, a little bit of grass on exit there. That will scrub off a little bit of speed and a little bit of the lap time as well. Through turns 3 and 4 we go. Ardell all over that curb. That curb likes to pitch your car in the air and he'll lose a bit of lap time from that. Bit of a scrappy first sector here from Ardell, but clean through, I believe, 7 and 8. And I believe we've had someone back out. I believe Timbed's either spun or backed out of his lap. But we'll continue to watch Ardell as he flies down the back straight into, I believe this is 10 and 11 here. Such a fast sequence of corners as he goes on to the 4th DRS straight. I guess technically 3rd on the lap, but through the technical, tricky 3rd sector now, almost flat out through there. Just shows how good that McLaren can be, but he comes through the final corner. We'll see what is the time for Ardell. It is a 1:16.7. That is the benchmark lap time. We'll see what these guys can do if they can beat it. Here comes Rhythms, who is about to start a lap. Neymar does a 19.4. As Jensen Snowy, he's invalid. Here comes the Haas of Timbed, also invalid. So, we'll have a look at Neski then. Let's see what he's able to do as he comes across the line. And he crosses the line for a 16.9, only 2/10 away. Here comes Bezestio and Resilience. Resilience goes faster by a whole second over Ardell. Resilience to the top, as Bezestio has a 16.3, but I believe he invalidated. So, no cigar for him. Egg, I believe, has just started a lap. We've got to watch this one here. Oh, Egg! He's made a bit of a oopsie-whoopsie through turn 1. Egg through turn 4 now, as we watch the fall from grace of the former Tier 1 driver who has just picked up the game I believe these are his first laps being ran around here. I don't know if these are his first laps on the entire game, but these are his first laps of practice here for this race. We'll see what Egg is capable of doing as he comes through the second sector split. It is a 44.5 through 2 sectors. Can he keep it pinned? He can! Barely keeps it valid. Jensen does a 17.5 that puts him P4. That's a solid lap time from him. Timbed comes into the pits. I believe there's a V-carb crossing the line now. Into the pits they go. But we'll watch Egg finish the lap, and he won't finish the lap. He's got on the grass, and he has gone for a bit of a spin. What an end to the lap for Egg. Aw, poor Egg. Into the wall. He caught a little bit of grass, which caused the spin. And that'll end his first run. So now we'll go to Matty, who's getting ready to finish his run. Now remember, he turned down a Williams contract to stay in this Sauber, to show his loyalty to the Ferrari Driver Academy. And that loyalty's paid off for him with a P6, ahead of Ryan Ocon. A solid lap for the Sauber driver. Decent stuff there from Matty. Let's head over to Gobert. Let's not head over to Gobert because he's invalidated. You know, who hasn't invalidated is Neski, and he better not do that in the race because that could get him in some trouble with that pit entry. Jensen, I believe, is on a lap here as the DRS slams shut into turn 3. Through 4. It's been a pretty decent first sector there from Jensen. Let's see if it can propel him into some higher positions. He's already in P5, and he's already 3/10 up. And he might get a little bit of help here from his Academy teammate in the V-card. He is going to get a very nice tow from his teammate. That is Neymar MiG-11, giving him a bit of a tow. That'll help him, and he's still 3/10 up. And he's understeered himself off the track. Luckily, he didn't invalidate it, so he can continue this lap if he wanted to, but there is holy traffic ahead of him as he comes through turn 14. Into the penultimate corner, locks the front, and now through the final corner, he has decided to back out. Into the pits he comes, and as does Neymar. Scorch P4 for him. He has done himself a 17.2. Decent showing there. A couple more cars on laps now. X3BD is one of them. His RPL debut. We'll see what he can do through the first sector. 27.2. And ahead of him is one of the McLarens. That is the McLaren of Jake Bandy, who has yet to set a lap time. Half the field with lap times. After the first couple runs, we are halfway through qualifying for the first round. Jake Bandy really showing the performance of that McLaren with a purple second sector. I don't know if it's actually purple, because this game sucks. But he'll come through turn 12, looking good. Through 13 or 14, I don't know the quarter numbers around here. I gotta look up a map. But here comes Jake Bandy through the final corner. He's kept it valid. He's kept it clean. What is the lap time for him? Is it gonna be good enough for pole position? No, it's not, but it's good enough for second fastest, and that's good enough for him. Here comes Gobert, 6th fastest for him, not a bad showing at all. Ardell is next. Ardell finds 4/10, but Rhythms finds even more time to go ahead of Ardell. P3 for the Red Bull. As more and more cars continue to put their laps in, let's have a look at RPL Savage coming around the final corner. Welcome back to RPL, Mr. Savage. He comes across the line, and it's a respectable P10 for the young lad. Widely known as one of RPL's youngest drivers in his earlier days of the league, he's put his Williams in P10, make that P11. I believe Egg has finally started to pick the pace back up. He runs P6 just behind Neski. Solid showing from the Tier 1 man. X3BD, I believe, invalidated his lap, so he's gone again as he comes through the second sector. Let's see what he can do. He's only at 200 miles an hour as he enters the 10-11 chicane. The top speed doesn't seem to be there for him. As he comes through the third sector, a little bit of traffic in the way. That is a Haas that gets out of the way for him. We'll see what X3BD can do here as he comes through. This is turn 14. Turn 14 is the final corner. I finally looked up a map, and what is the time for X3? It is going to be a 19.4 that puts him at the back of the grid. Let's turn our eyes over to Bezestio as he comes through turn 12. Fast right-hander into the slow left of 13. It's been a tidy final sector for the man who's running the old Luke Grange's number 74, as he comes across the line. 16.2, fourth fastest for Bezestio. Good time there by the Ferrari driver. As we continue to watch cars run their laps, it's invalid from Jake Bandy. Neski not on a lap either. Neymar invalid. And quick shout out to Ridian. P13 in the Sauber. Of course, a car that is not good at all. Trying to show that thing what it's capable of. And here's a certain Ryan Searles on a lap right now as he comes through turn 4. Not a good showing from the Merc boys right now. Bar 2, yet to set a lap time. Ryan now down in P18 as Tiro puts his Alpine in 6th place. Great showing from the Alpine team so far. But here comes Ryan through the middle sector. Let's see if he can set a respectable time. It's a 44.1 that puts him 7/10 up. This is the kind of showing Ryan needs to put in that Mercedes. A car that needs to be in the points at the very minimum. I believe we also had a Merc on the podium in the Tier 1 race that started the game cycle for them. So we know this car is capable of podiums and good results around a track like this. But here comes Ryan through the final corner. This time he's kept it valid, and he's going to come across the line for a 17.1. That'll put him just behind Egg in P9. Now let's move over to Bar 2. Still yet to set a valid lap time. The last one to set a valid lap time. Can he keep it valid through the final corner? The answer is yes. The last car to set a lap will be Bar 2. And it's going to be a 16.1. Fourth fastest for the Mercedes driver. And that is what Cookie would like to see. His Mercs in the mix. Decent stuff there. Jake Bandy enters the pits. I don't know if there's any other cars on a lap right now. Scorch is sending it through turn 12. And oh, there's a Ferrari off. I saw that in the corner. I think that was Bezestio having a bit of a oopsie, or Resilience. One of them had a bit of a oopsie. Who didn't have an oopsie was Scorch on that lap, putting it P6. Good showing from him there. Red Bull, P3 and P6 so far. Ryan not on a lap. RPL Savage looks like he's trying to give it another go, despite his lack of ERS. His battery's depleted completely. So I don't think he'll be improving on this lap. He's a 10th down. We'll see if he tries to finish this one out. I don't think he should, as he goes well off the track. That'll be it for him on that particular run. And most of the other cars in the pits or not on laps right now, so couple cars, I believe we're exiting the pits or entering, one or the other. The answer is exiting. I see Egg on an outlap, I see Gobert on an outlap. But into the pits comes RPL Savage, and I believe Egg will be the next victim of setting a lap time here. Trying to get all the laps he can in, because all the practice will help for him. As he comes through the final corner, to start his next run, and I believe he is the only driver on a lap time right now. Let's see what the former Tier 1 lad can do. Coming through Turn 1. Looks clean and tidy to me, as far as Alpines are concerned. Through Turn 3 there, then 4. It's been a tidy first sector there from Mr. Egg as he comes through turns 6 and 7. Very high speed. Missed the apex there. Might lose him a bit of time because he'll be bleeding that lost time all the way down this very long back straight. Egg obviously has a little bit of knowledge of this game. He's running the medium overtake meta strat. And oh, he's almost dropped it. Off the road goes Egg. That'll do it for his lap as he chucks his car into the wall. Sick 360 though. That is plus 10 points there in my opinion for Egg. Gobert's on a lap though, so we'll watch him finish his while Egg drives himself back into the pits. He might have enough time to finish and do one more lap. But here comes Gobert, getting all over that curb in turn 11. He got all over that one. As he comes through the final 2 corners, we'll see if he's lost time from that small mistake. DRS activated, on his way to the start-finish line, and it's going to be a 16-9, 3/10 improvement. Gobert now sits in 12th place. Only other driver on a lap right now is Rhythms, I believe. Neski on a lap as well, but he's in the first sector, I believe. So we'll watch Rhythms come across the line. Everybody on outlaps here to do their final run. Here comes Rhythms, drifting through the final corner. That's going to bleed some of the lap time off, but we'll see if any time is in it. The answer's no. No time is in it for him. Rhythms, third fastest. A couple more cars on laps here as everybody starts their final runs. Tiro's on a lap. Neski's on a lap. Jensen Snowy has called it a session. He's out. I don't know if he retired in the pits or on track. Slow-moving Mercedes, letting cars go. Here comes Neski. Tiro as well. Through the final corner comes Tiro. We'll see what the lap time is for him first. Then we'll move over to Neski. Can Tiro find time? Yes, he can! How about that from Tiro? Third fastest for Alpine, and it's P9 for Neski. We'll see if any of these top cars can find more lap time, but a third place in an Alpine is an incredible time for him. Gobert's out of the session. He is... I don't know where he dropped it, or if he just retired to the pits, but we're watching our current pole setter Resilience here. Can he find time in the first sector? Yes, he can. He's almost a 10th up. Keeping it valid. Red Bull getting out of the way. Time is up. Flying laps now count. It's 15, 16, 17 for Zero, Ridian, and Savage. X3, no time found. Maddie goes up to P16 as well. Bezestio finding time. Let's have a look at Jake Bandy. Is the time there? Yes, it is! By 1/100th of a second. Pole position for Jake Bandy. Ardell's bottled it. He has invalidated. He's in the pits, and he's all the way down in P8. Here comes Bartu, trying to sneak a toe. Can't do it, but he's going to come across the line. Third fastest for Bartu. Here comes Resilience. Can he take pole back? Yes, he can! By 1/100th of a second. Here comes Scorch, P7. It's not going to be it for him. The only top car left is Ryan. Where can he put his Mercedes? It is going to be P10 for the Mercedes driver. Into the wall goes Tiro. And it's Resilience by 1/100th of a second on pole position for the first round of Tier 3 Season 6. Jake Bandy second, Bartu in third, Bezestio P4, the last car in the 15s, and Massive kudos to Tiro, putting his Alpine in 5th place. An exciting qualifying session there. It is pole position for Resilience by 1/100th of a second, making sure we get all the drivers for final results purposes. Jake Bandy second, Bartu third, Bezestio, Tiro, Rhythms, Scorch, Ardell, Neski, and Ryan rounding out the top 10. Our glorious Saudi Arabian king, Egg, in P14 in the Alpine. We'll see if he can bounce back and score some points today. I'm gonna ask the guys real quick if it's dry. And getting the word from Ardell that it should be a dry race today. So no rain will be affecting the first round of Season 6 of Tier 3. Love to see it, as these guys will select their strategies. I've heard that some guys might try the 2-stop, some guys might try the 1-stop, so we have a big old mix of strats here. We'll see what everybody decides to do in the end. I see a big old mix of hard runners and medium runners, so hopefully nobody readies up too soon as well, because nobody likes that. But it is the 6th season of the 3rd tier. I don't think I've said it enough. So, should be a fun one today here in Australia. That was a very exciting qualifying session. We'll see if the race adds up to it being that good. And we've got the word from Resilience. It will be snowing around lap 4 for this race, so I hope they get the chains on those wet tires, because they are sure going to need it. So, and I've just realized it's Australia, so if it's snowing, yeah, I don't know. That math ain't mathing. Most drivers, though, electing for the medium tires, with just a couple guys considering hards. Only a light McFlurry for Resilience, and for legal reasons, I am not sponsored by McDonald's, so I will not be saying the word McFlurry for the rest of the stream. I say that while eating a Big Mac. Commentators need their food too. But should be ready to go here pretty soon. It's gonna be, I think we're gonna be in for a very good season here. I don't know what time these guys were told to ready up, but, oh, at 32, which is right now, so should be going momentarily here. It's going to be an exciting one. Make sure you stay tuned in for not just the entirety of this race, but the entirety of this season. Which of these drivers will prove to be the best of the 3rd tier of RPL, and then proceed to get banned, because champions aren't allowed to come back to Tier 3. But we'll be going soon here, And we're going now. It's time to bring the action for Season 6 of Tier 3. And it's away we go. It's a decent start for Resilience, but Jake Bandy's got a better start. Jake Bandy to the inside of turn 1. They're going crazy in the back, and we have contact. It's an Alpine and a Ferrari around. Bezestio and Tiro have crashed. They've had a big kerfuffle there. 3 wide through turn 3. It's Egg and Neymar going at it. As they scatter everywhere and they try to get themselves settled, there's a Williams off the road. That's RPL Savage. But Jake Bandy got the best of the start. Tiro's out of this race. He's had a crash. And after starting in 3rd place, he is out. And he's had a crash with Timbed, who's been given a 10-second penalty. And it's a virtual safety car for that DNF. There's your potential strategies, and we'll have a look at what tires everybody has started on. Jake Bandy on mediums, only a couple cars on the hard tire. Tiro was one of them. He's now out of this race. And a 10-second penalty for Timbed will not aid his chances. On that first lap, the biggest winner was Egg, up 6 spots, up to P8. And the biggest loser was Bezestio. He got tangled with Tiro going through turn 2. And he lost literally every position. But this will remain as just a regular VSC. Doesn't look like we won't be getting any safety cars for this. And these guys are going. We must be green flag racing already, and I might be bugged here. And oh no. And oh no, speaking of oh no, 2 of the top 3 drivers have just got done for speeding under the VSC. We went green, but they went too early. Jake's got to drive through. Bartu's got to drive through. Resilience is the net leader of this race. After taking the lead on lap 1, Jake Bandy's going to have to drop to the back of this field. 0 on lap 2 of this race, already in the penalty box. Here comes Resilience, getting close, not close enough though. Behind them, bit of battling. Here's the midfield scrap here. Neymar and Scorch in particular. Everybody staying line and stern behind them. Or are they side by side between Ridian and Ryan? Ryan getting a little argy-bargy with them. And here comes the Williams of RPL Savage trying to go down the inside. Can't get it done. Egg gets past Neski. Loses the back end as well a little bit. But he keeps it together. And into the pits comes both Bartu and Jake Bandy. 2 of the top 3 in this race get drive-through penalties for speeding under the VSC, which leaves Resilience, Ardell, and Jensen Snowy on the podium. And RPL Savage gets a penalty for cutting corners. I saw a couple penalties on that lap. 0 got another 3-second penalty for track limits. Somebody should tell him that it is not regular corner cutting. Somebody should also tell Neymar that's your academy teammate in a Red Bull, and you're holding him up. Scorch won't like that one bit. To come down the DRS straight now, he's got the run on him, and he's almost being pushed into the grass by Neymar. Rhythms gets ahead of Jensen Snowy, while Scorch finally gets past his academy teammate up into 7th place. Meanwhile, Egg closing in on Jensen after losing P3. Egg's in this train for a potential podium. Remember, Alpine got a podium last season, and I believe it was only Alpine and Aston Martin for the midfield cars to get podiums last season. Ryan gets past 0, and Ardell in the penalty box on lap 3 of this race. Ridian and 0, wheel to wheel. Ridian losing the spot as a result. Resilience, fastest lap of the race. Make that Rhythms. The Red Bull on hard tires. As we continue to watch the midfield scrap here in the early stages of this race. Savage has had a moment. Savage is going the wrong way. He has had a crash. And, oh no, and is he still going? He is still going. I thought he disqualified himself for a second for going backwards. But we're still okay here. But Savage, with all that damage, that will not be beneficial to him. Bartu got ahead of Jake Bandy, by the way, at the back of the grid, while they continue their comeback drives. And as does Bezestio. He's also in the back of this field. 3 top cars are out of the points here. As we continue to watch the battle for P3, as Jensen tries to gain time on rhythms. Timbed now in the penalty box. One of those drivers almost lost the back end going through turn 11 there. But Savage gets a 3-second penalty. X3, it's a disaster for Williams. And Timbed has another 10-second penalty for crashing with another car. This time it's X3 who was off the road. And now he's into the pits with heavy wing damage. What a tragic run it is for Timbed right now. And it's about to get worse for him as Bartu goes down the inside and up a place on the German driver. Oh, into the wall goes Timbed. Doesn't look like he's got wing damage, but he's trying to defend against Jake Bandy. How long can he hold off that defense? How about this from Jake Bandy? Round the outside in turn 4. That's a fantastic move from Jake. It might be a McLaren against a Haas, but that is still no easy pass through that particular part of the track. Let's head over to P7 because P7 was Scorch, but now it's Neski. Scorch goes by in the DRS zone, and now he's up into 6th place. Now we can chase down Egan Jensen. Red Bull Academy looking very strong right now. Timbed losing out to Jake. I believe 5 of the 6 Red Bull Academy cars in the points. Great start for their academy today. But up front, it's Resilience and Ardell, 1 and 2. Resilience holding a gap of 1.6 seconds. Also need to remember, Rhythms is on hards, and Ardell has a penalty. There is still a lot of strategy left to be played in this race here, as Bezestio continues the comeback drive. He gets past Matty for P12. Up next is the other Sauber of Ridian, another Academy teammate of his. Then we get into the points-paying places. 0, holding on to the final one of those. If we have a... No, not that. Ardell gets a 2nd penalty. I was just about to have a look. If you look at the penalties, Timbed, 23 seconds of penalties through 6 laps of this race. Poor guy. He's going to have to serve 2 10-second penalties today. And I think his day's pretty much done. But have a look at this from Egg. Picking up right where he left off from his old Tier 1 days. He might have a go here at Jensen. Down the inside, through turn 11. They go wheel to wheel. Egg loses the back end. Jensen on the outside. Egg on the inside. Egg tries to take the place. He's got it. Egg takes P4 of this race as Gobert and X3 go wheel to wheel at the back of the field. What a job from Egg as he goes defensive once again. He goes heavily defensive. But he's got P4 in the bag. Ooh, he's lost the back end again then. Here comes Jensen. This time with DRS. This time flies right back past. Back into P4 goes Jensen as Savage gets another penalty. This scrap was for P3, now it's for P4. It only gets more and more intense, and you can now add Neski to this battle. Jensen gets a penalty, another front runner into the penalty, and Matty's gone off. He's had a spin in turn 5. That drops him all the way down to P15, as Egg and Jensen once again wheel to wheel. Egg swoops around the outside in turn 9. And now he moves back into 4th place. Can he keep it this time? Scorch goes past Jensen as well. The Academy teammate letting the Red Bull go. Now Scorch can chase down and overtake Egg to make it a Red Bull 3-4. Which, as it stands, a Red Bull 3-4 would put them at the lead of the Constructors' Championship. A lot of riding on these two of Rhythms and Scorch. Scorch, this time, is going to go down the inside of Egg, and he's through. And behind them, I believe Jensen's had a big moment because he's dropped to P8, and he's got severe wing damage. Something's happened to Jensen, and I didn't get to see what happened. Jensen, huge wing damage. Neymar's through. Neski's up to P6 now. While Scorch and Egg try to scamper off with P4 and P5. Jensen losing so much time with the wing damage. Here comes Ryan Ocon looking for a move. Through 6 and 7. Through turn 8 we go. Ryan's through. X3, penalty for speeding, and out of the race goes X3, while Bezestio gets by his Academy teammate Iridian up to P11. He continues the comeback drive. Remember, Bezestio was, oh boy, off the road goes Jensen. What a great, he had such a great start to this race, and it's all gone to tears for him. Bezestio down the inside of Zero. He had a look. He's lost the back end. He's lost the back end big time as Bezestio. Now he's on the inside of Jensen. Jensen should pit this time, and he does. Ridian pits with him too. 2 cars in. Ridian, I believe, is going to be the first of the guys who's making a scheduled pit stop as well. This moves Bezestio into the points-paying places of P10. Into the battle for P5 now. Egg has lost touch to the Red Bulls of Rhythms and Scorch. He now runs 5th, with Neski running just behind him. Neymar is in the wings as well, but he has a 3-second penalty to his name. Both V-Carbs with penalties to their names. It's 6 seconds for Zero, as Rhythms has got past Ardell. He's been buying his time on those hard tires, and now we're probably at the moment where those hards are better than the mediums. Up into P2 goes Rhythms, and I think he fancies a run at the lead of this race. Savage, another penalty. Now can Rhythms chase down Resilience? Oh, off the road goes Ardell! Off the road! He lost the back end, and now he will come into the pits. Almost spun entering the pits too, Ardell. But he's into the pits, and he's going for a set of hard tires, and that'll put Egg and Neski into P4 and P5. Here's Bezestio, Jake Bandy, and Bar 2. The 3 of them have all had bad moments here at the start of this race, and now all 3 of them running together. And Jake and Bar 2, of course, they've been through the pits once to serve a drive-through. They haven't made their mandatory pit stop just yet. And in the battle at the front of the field, Resilience, he almost was within a second of Rhythms. And it's supposed to be the other way around! Bar 2 has lost the back end! Bar 2 almost crashing out of this race, but he's still alive, but he's now 3 seconds behind Bezestio and Jake. Battle for P4 still raging on between Egg and Neski. Neski starting to lose touch now, just a little bit. But then ahead, guess who's got DRS? It's Rhythms. He's been very patient in trying to chase down Resilience. On 10-lap old hard tires, he's now caught him. Egg is into the pits now to make his first pit stop. All of these early pitters most likely will be on a 2-stop strategy because going 1 stop from here to the end is going to be a struggle for them. But here is Rhythms, 6/10 away from Resilience on lap 11 of this race. We're getting close to the halfway stage, and right now, it's been an entertaining race, but Resilience has led most of them today, aside from lap 1, when Jake Bandy took the lead. Of course, a drive-through penalty has set him back dearly. Jake Bandy currently runs P8. Rhythms still try to chase him down. Ardell once again getting another penalty. But he gets DRS again, but it looks like he's going to be a little bit too far away this time. Can't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Neski's into the pits. Neymar and the Hards will stay out to do another lap. Ryan staying out too. Jake Bandy coming into the pits as well. Bezestio stays out. Jake Bandy gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Absolute tragic. His day's gone from bad to worse. Jake, after slapping it on the front row, taking the lead. He's had a drive-through, and now he's got a 10-second speeding penalty. That'll pretty much end any hope of scoring good points today. Which means it's all down to Ardell, who now has 9 seconds of penalties. But here comes Ardell, trying to get past Bezestio. Bezestio's yet to stop, but through goes Ardell up into P6. But back to the lead. This lead fight might be kicking off pretty soon here. No, it won't. Rhythms has four-wheel drifted himself through turn 13. And he somehow kept that car straight. Incredible scenes. As Resilience pits, so does Scorch. It's going to be hard tires for both of them, I assume. And I think from lap 13, they should be able to get to the end of this race. But now, Neymar in second place, Ryan in third, Ardell, who of course pitted before, will come out quite a bit ahead of Resilience. But we'll see if he can get to the end on that tire, as Bartu and Bezestio both in the pits as well. They'll lose time. Ridian is on a set of medium tires here in his Sauber, currently running 9th, but I believe he will have to make another pit stop, because I don't think those mediums will not be going to the end of the race. But he continues to battle with Zero here, as Rhythms leads by 10 seconds over Neymar. Top 3 yet to make their pit stop, which means RPL Ardell, despite 9 seconds of penalties, is still leading this race. Of course, he'll lose that. 9 seconds of penalties will drop him back pretty far. That'll drop him to around where Egg and Scorch are on track, so he'll have to find more time if he wants to finish on the podium today. As the hard runners stay out once more, Ardell continues to chase down Ryan. Now these two, they have past history between each other. Whether it be here or in potentially other leagues, these two seem to almost always come together when it comes to battling on track. But I think Ryan, knowing that he's on the old tires, Ardell on the fresh tires, I'm sure he won't make this one difficult, and as you can see, he plays the team game, and he lets Ardell go through the exit of turn 4. So Ardell up into third place, as Jake Bandy gets past Bezestio and Jensen Snowy. And Jensen Snowy and Bezestio are going at it through turn 4. Jensen into P12 after having to pit for damage. They currently run 12th, 13th, and 14th, respectively, as RPL Savage has boxed for a set of intermediate tires. We love to see it. It's absolute scenes from the young lad making his return to RPL. Oh, jeez. Dearie me, I thought Bezestio was going to go for it. Now he is going to go for it. He had the inside temporarily, and now he does have the inside officially. And now he's cleared Jensen for P12. Bezestio is through. Good move there from Bezestio to put himself into P12. We'll see if he can continue his comeback drive. Ridian runs 11th, but as it stands, he will finish P9 if things were to finish as is. But Ridian doing good so far in that Sauber. We'll see if he can get some points. He did say before, this is a track he is good at. And here comes Resilience now, making his way past Ryan up in the P4, as Ardell also going by Neymar for P2 in this race. And there's the intermediates of RPL Savage being put a lap down by these guys. Absolute cookery from Savage. Neymar's done a good stint, though, up in 3rd place at the moment. Jensen penalty. Ridian letting Bezestio go. Now it's Bezestio in P11 as he continues to charge his way through the field. Jake Bandy, if it wasn't for the 10-second penalty, he wouldn't be looking half bad right now. He's done a good job of trying to make a comeback despite of everything that's gone wrong for him. Scorch sets the fastest lap of the race on those hard tires. Looking good for him. He's ahead of Egg, Timbed with a penalty. I believe Jensen and Ridian are going wheel to wheel here. They are. Jensen ahead of the Sauber driver. Remember, Ridian most likely will have to stop again. As we go back to the front of the field, Resilience goes past Neymar. So many conflicting strategies at this stage of the race as Resilience goes through. Rhythms still out there on those 15-lap-old hard tires. He holds a 9.6 second lead over Ardell. Remember, Ardell has 9 seconds of penalties, so yeah, that's all I gotta say. Bezestio and Zero wheel to wheel once again. Another overtake for Bezestio as Jake gets yet another penalty. That'll put his tally up to 13 seconds. Timbed still leads the penalties championship, though, at 19. Neymar and Ryan both entering the pits now. They've done 16 laps on those hard tires. Time to move on to a set of mediums to finish this race. As Jake goes through, Egg has actually gotten into the DRS zone of Scorch. He's in DRS range, 9/10. We'll see if we can keep it there. And I'll say it's been a good race for him, but it hasn't been a good race for Bar 2, who's retired in the pits and is now out of this race. Bar 2, the 3rd retirement from the Australia Grand Prix. We've lost Tiro, we've lost X3, and we have lost Bar 2 from this race. As we continue to watch Resilience, he's chased down Ardell. Ardell got the undercut on him, but now the overcut starting to take advantage for Resilience. In DRS range, we'll see if he can make this move for what will be P1 on track. And never mind, because into the pits comes Ardell. After only 7 laps on hard tires, he's made another pit stop. And it's a 2-stop, medium hard for Ardell. He's got a lot of time to make up with this 2-stop strategy. Through goes Neski. Through goes Jake Bandy as well. Fair play to Neski, by the way. He's had himself a great day in that cross. Didn't race much of all last season, and goodness me, the race leaders just got a penalty for track limits. Rhythms with a penalty, and still with a pit stop to make. The gap is 7 seconds, and it is looking really grim for Rhythms and a chance to win this race. This penalty might cost him. That puts Resilience right in the driver's seat of getting the win in this race. Snowy another penalty. Scorch with a penalty of his own as well. Both Red Bull drivers getting penalties on the same lap. Here on lap 18 of this race, Ardell gets by Bezestio. Here comes Jake Bandy down the inside. He gets past Neski to go up into 5th place. Rhythms enters the pits from the lead. He'll go onto a set of mediums, but he will lose quite a bit of time. We'll see where he comes out of the pits. I don't think he's going to beat Jake and Neski out of the pits here. It's going to be close. Here comes Rhythms, exiting the pits now. He will beat him out. He will get it into 4th place. You know what this means? Egg in the Alpine's 3rd. Absolute cookery from the Tier 1 driver. But I believe his points will actually count because nobody knew if he would actually have his pure pace. But Egg has played a good race here. He's on 8-lap old hard tires, which should get him to the end of this race. And not too many battles going on. Bezestio getting a penalty. There goes Jake Bandy. There goes Neski. Neski is in a great position right now if he can keep it penalty-free. But that fuel light is on for him, so this might not be smooth sailing. And here comes Ryan. He's on fresh mediums, and he's gone past Jensen up in to P11 as he tries to get some points for Mercedes with his teammate out of the race. Trying to chase down Zero, who has quite a bit for penalties. 6 seconds to his name. 13 seconds to Jake Bandy's name. And Jake Bandy brings it into the pits. Almost speeds again. It's a 2-stop for both McLarens. And Jake Bandy has to serve a 10-second penalty, which will take him right out of the points. But here comes Ardell down the inside of Neski. And he is through up into 5th place. But remember, the penalties might let him down here in the end. But it's currently P5 for Ardell. And Jake exits the pits in a lowly P13. It has been a day to forget for Jake Bandy, as Zero goes down the inside of Ridian, and Ridian staying ahead. Zero, who made a pit stop, he is on the fresh medium tires. We'll see if he can get back up into the points peg places as Gobert goes by 10-man pit. Not too much for battles going on, but we got Neski and Bezestio planning to go wheel to wheel here momentarily. I don't think Neski will make this very difficult for the Ferrari of Bezestio, as Rhythms sets the fastest lap of this race, but I think it's going to be too little too late for him. It's a big gap, and that 3-second penalty really tanking his chances of winning. McLaren pulling a bit of a Ferrari strategy today. While the Ferrari strategy is working out pretty well for Resilience, who still leads this race and is 9 laps away from his first ever victory in RPL. But we watch Bezestio chase down Neski, who's just trying to keep it on the island, as Jake goes by Zero for P11. Overtake button on temporarily for Bezestio. We'll see if he's close enough, gaining all the time. Will it be a move to P6? He goes down the inside, through turn 9, gets on the curb, keeps it on form. Bezestio moving up into P6 on the road. And we've got a bit of a spinner, and it is Timbed who has gone around. He has gone a lap down as well. Neski laps his teammate Timbed. Meanwhile, the battle for P3 ensues. Rhythms gets ahead of Egg, but remember the penalties. Rhythms has a 3-second penalty to his name. Egg does not. If Egg can stay in the DRS of Rhythms, it could be looking pretty darn good for a potential Egg podium here for Alpine. But Egg is already starting to lose that DRS touch. Gap is 8/10. This is a very important DRS zone right here, and I believe he did get it. So burning all of the overtake to make sure he stays in DRS range. And he's got the DRS, thankfully for his sake. Meanwhile, back in the P11 fight, Jake Bandy pulls away from 0. What a poor day it's been from Jake, who currently runs 11th. It's just got worse. Jake, another penalty. And Timbed, another penalty. Let's have a look at that penalty situations. 18 for Savage, 15 for Timbed. Jake's now on 6 after serving his 10-second penalty on his second stop. Rhythms, the 3-second penalty not helping his chances, but he is starting to pull a good gap to Egg here. And Egg is starting to look like his chances of a podium are slipping here. But that Ardell penalty will certainly help his chances, because that'll pretty much confirm that Ardell will not be beating Egg in today's race with all the penalties he has gotten throughout the race. As Egg sits in 4th place. What a job he's done. But also a great job by Resilience today. He has had himself a great race. Played the strategy right. Spot on with the medium hard 1-stop. Scorch doing the same exact thing as Resilience. And it shows why he's in 2nd place. No real fights going on right now, so let's have a look at RPL Savage on the wet tires here. The blue-walled wets. Matching the color of his car. It's been a bit of a bad day for him. And absolute tragedy for Neymar, getting himself a penalty. That penalty puts him at 6 seconds, which means Ryan now has a net P8 over the RB driver. Unfortunate there for Neymar. He's had himself quite a good day as well. Now, Ryan can sit in P9, and he'll finish P8. He's lost touch from the Bezestio Ardell group, which it's not even a group anymore. Ardell has a 5-second gap over Bezestio now. We'll have a look at the penalties real quick. Neski will get Ardell on penalties as it stands, but he won't get Bezestio. As Bezestio only has a 3, and the gap's 3.4 seconds, so you can do the math there. Battle brewing here for P4, though. It might only be an on-track battle, though, as Egg, who has now fallen out of the podium positions due to the penalties. But now he can hold off the McLaren if he so wants to, but it doesn't look like he will. Ardell will get past Egg for P4, but when it comes to the penalties, it should be Egg that holds on to it. Timbed and Zero both getting penalties of their own. R.I.P. But through goes Ardell up into P4 with him and his 12 seconds of penalties, which will drop him right down the order. I think his 9 seconds would currently drop him to P8 at the moment. So that is what Ardell is currently looking at. He's looking at around a P8 finish. Big lockup from Ardell, too. You can see the car performance difference between the McLaren and the Alpine. Already a 1-second lead. And he only passed him about 8 corners ago. But when they come across the line this time, we will have 4 laps remaining here in the Australian Grand Prix. Resilience holds a 3.7-second lead over Scorch. But of course, Scorch has a 3-second penalty. Jack Bandy and Snowy going wheel to wheel. Jake getting P10. How are they doing on penalties, though? Jake's actually got less penalties than Jensen, so that'll confirm that McLaren will at least get double points today. So, good job from them, but Jensen goes right back past as Jensen retakes P10. One of the only battles on track right now. And, oh, contact! Remember, guys, you don't want to cause a safety car here. As soon as Resilience hits lap 27, that'll be safety cars done. Oh, almost contact made again there between Jensen and Jake. through turn 12 we go. There's also battling behind them between Ridian and Zero. Got some battles going on in the lower reaches of the grid today. Jake still trying to take P10. Defensive maneuvering, almost weaving from Jensen here. Jake decides to stay behind. Bit of contact made. Gobert gets a penalty. Unfortunate for him. Zero and Timbed both into the pits. But down the inside goes Jake Bandy. Once again, it's the move made for Jake, but now it's the outside for Jensen. Jensen can't get the move done, though. It'll be P10 for Jake. We'll see if Jensen, though, can take the position back. He did it a lap ago. But it looks like this time, Jake should be able to hold on to P10. Jensen gaining and gaining, but he will not be gaining enough to make the move. As Resilience, now on lap 27, no more safety cars. All we saw was the one VSC on the first lap after Tiro and Timbed had a bit of a coming together in turn 5, which caused the DNF from Tiro being our first retirement, and our only retirement on track of the race. X3 and Bar 2, both. And, oh, Jensen's in the pits. RIP. Couldn't make the tires last. Couldn't make those tires last there. RIP Jensen. That'll lock in P10 for Mr. Jake Bandy. Only other, you could even say, if it's even a battle, is Rhythms and Scorch, separated by 1.6 seconds. Niski and Neymar, separated by 1.1 as well. Zero, Savage, and Jensen, all on soft tires here. Somebody could go for fastest lap. Resilience will come across the line to make it 2 laps remaining in this race. And 1.4 seconds between Scorch and Rhythms. 1 second between Neski and Neymar. On board with Neymar, Maddie getting himself a 3-second penalty. Once again, track limit. I was not expecting track limits to be such a problem around here today. There's only about 5 drivers. There's only 5 drivers who are left in this field that haven't gotten a penalty yet. Incredible scenes today. And we'll see if any of those soft runners can get fastest lap. I think that would be funny. Who holds fastest lap right now? It's Rhythms with a 19-0. But Neymar, he's been reeling in Neski for the last couple laps now. He's finally got himself into DRS range. This might be a move on track, but Neski will still get the position on penalties. And with how big of a gap everybody else has, I don't know if Neski will be able to beat Ardell off penalties here. But Resilience will start the final lap of the Australian Grand Prix. Ferrari have had themselves a good day, but Red Bull with a 2-3, they're looking mighty. Savage gets another penalty. What does that put him at now? 21 seconds. Get yourself a few 10-second penalties, Savage. Go for it. Take that record for penalties. And, oh, never mind, because RPL Savage just takes the fastest lap of the race with an 18.8 as Resilience on the final lap of this race. Scorch and Rhythm second and third. We'll see how the penalties affect things. 12 seconds for Ardell. That'll drop him down the order. Actually, it won't drop him too far. I think he'll only drop to around P6, P7 here. But we'll have a look at Resilience. The only one of the top 3 that didn't get a penalty for a drive-through on the VSC at the start. Snowy fastest lap. But Resilience has played himself a fantastic race today. The strategy was spot on. He knows he's won this race as he weaves the car back and forth through 2 more corners. It's been a day to remember in the land down under The sun shines for Resilience. Out of the final corner, he's an RPL winner for the first time in his career. Resilience wins the Australian Grand Prix. Rhythms takes second place off the penalties. Scorch is third. The Red Bull 1-2 is locked in. And Egg, P4 off of penalties. Ardell will finish in fifth. Here comes Neski, a very solid P7 for him. Neymar P8, make it P9. Ryan takes 8th. Neymar will lock in that P9. And Jake Bandy will score a point. Unfortunate, really bad race there for Jake. Kudos to Ridian for how bad that car is. P11, he can call that a good day for himself. Solid job from him. Jensen, it fell off from him in the second half of that race. Only P12 for him. As Savage will cross the line in reverse. Matty spins his car across the line. 0 P14. Gobert ghosts through the Williams of Savage. But Resilience, for the first time in his career, is an RPL winner. He wins the opening round of Tier 3 Season 6. And he can do his celebratory dance. He wins the RPL Tier 3 Season 6 Louis Vuitton Australian Grand Prix as he gets to hoist the winner's trophy and spray some champagne. Red Bull 2 and 3, they can be happy with that result today as they try to continue their dominant form in the third tier of RPL. Race winner Resilience, Jensen fastest lap, Egg driver of the day, Bezestio most overtakes, Resilience cleanest driver for your race rundown. But that will do it here for Tier 3 Season 6 here in Australia. I'll make sure to get all the results real quick. 3 DNFs today. Bartu, X3, and Tiro. Fastest lap went to Jensen. And it'll be a tie in the Constructors' Championship between Ferrari and Red Bull. They'll both be on 33 points, if my math is correct. So, championship stays nice and close. Egg, a very hard-fought P4 today. And say what you want with him being a Tier 1 driver. P14 to P4 is absolutely no slouch. Egg is my driver of the day. Good result to him. But Resilience, if we're not counting Tier 1 drivers, I would give it to Resilience. He did great today. A very hard-fought race by all these guys. And it's Resilience who leads the Drivers' Championship after one round. After a very exciting day. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Tier 2 also comes to the streets of Australia for their first round of Tier 2 Season 18 in Australia. And Tier 1 will kick off the second half of their season around the world-famous Spa circuit. We'll see if Cookie can maintain his absolutely ridiculous form of winning races. He's 5 in a row so far. We'll see if he can make it 6. But for Tier 3, make sure you join us next week. It'll be the Japanese Grand Prix, and we'll see if Resilience can hold his lead in the Drivers' Championship. So make sure you join us for that one. But that'll do it for Tier 3 today. I am Beatnik714 signing off. Make sure you join us next week for more thrilling RPL action.